Hi, Nate and Katie. It's Carrie at the Cliffs of Moher, ready to walk you through your Ireland, Scotland, England adventure. I'm going to go through this pretty quick since you're familiar with it, and I want you to spend as much time as possible looking at the itinerary. So let me share my screen and we will get started. Just so you know, this is high tourist season, the time you're planning to go, so our prices reflect that. I was not able to lower your budget. In fact, I had a difficult time keeping it under 8,000. And as you know, that doesn't include meals, shopping, taxis, bus rides. So I do think you're still going to need to make some decisions about what to keep and what to cut. For now, I've planned a trip that includes everything on your wish list. And we'll go through that. A little bit of background information on currencies, tipping, exchanging money. Ireland is different than the UK, so you will need currencies in both those countries. Embassies in the London area and in Dublin, just in case you run into any issues while you're traveling. I have you departing from Chicago on August 16th. It's a full in the evening, so arrive the next morning. You can watch these fun little videos of Scots struggling to speak. It's very entertaining on your way over. And you arrive in the morning at Edinburgh, as they say there. I've got you checking into a hotel right downtown and within walking distance of everything that you'd like to see. We may need to request early check-in, or else you can drop your luggage and begin to explore the city until your room is ready. But at 2 o'clock, I've got you on a walking tour of the Edinburgh Castle and the Royal Mile. You can certainly do this on your own. It doesn't have to be organized, but I think you pick up a lot more information when you've got a guided tour. Lots of things to see along here. And then the rest of the evening is just on your own. The following day is a full day tour to St. Andrews. Again, this is 8 hours and 30 minutes. You'll be stopping at some of the little fishing villages along the way. And it's a lovely way to see the coast of Scotland, but it is a full day tour. When you get back, some dining options. But then again, the next day, if you want to get all the way up to Loch Ness, look at this time, 12 hours and 30 minutes. You're going to be spending most of your time just getting there. So this is one of the tours that I think you might want to look at and decide, is it worth it for us to go all this way and then all the way back again just to say we saw Loch Ness. So there's some other things you could do in London, or I'm sorry, in Edinburgh. But since the next day is your following day, I suggested a whiskey tour. This is a great way to understand Scotch whiskey as compared to other whiskeys and why there is no E in Scotch whiskey. You have to go to the tour to find out. Very interesting. The following day, I have you checking out and catching a train from Edinburgh to York. You've just got 2 days in York, and I did not plan anything of consequence there because so much you can do for free. But once again, the property you're in is near a lot of sightseeing things, so I've made some of those available for you. There is a famous racehorse festival going on while you're there. That's not free, but it might be something you'd like to take a look at. Otherwise, you can get a map of the York Cat Trail and walk through the city to find all of the different little cat statues that are located in and around York. And also, it's surrounded by walls, so it's a lovely place. You can walk on these walls and see the architecture along the way. It's just fascinating. So those are 2 free things you could do in York. Lots more to do there, but I didn't plan anything. Following day, you're checking out and once again taking the train from York to London. The fares aren't available until 90 days out, so these are just estimates based on what they're charging now. I don't suspect that it's going to go up too much, but these are just estimates. I chose this property primarily for the price. My gosh, to get into London for 2 nights for this price was pretty phenomenal. So, but it is centrally located. And so since you're going to be in the land of tea and crumpets, I thought, why not engage in traditional scone making and a tea workshop? I know that you said you were interested in high tea, and you could certainly do that as an alternate. It is a little bit more costly, so I was looking for a more affordable option, but all of the fine hotels have afternoon high tea available if you'd like to book that. And then because you've only got 2 days, I chose the hop on, hop off bus tour for your second day there. And it does have an optional river cruise, which will give you a perspective of the city from the water. And stop 28 on the blue route will take you directly to the Natural History Museum, which I know is also on your list. So you'd be able to see quite a bit on this hop on, hop off bus tour in London. Other things that you might want to do if you have time are listed here. And then the following day, you're checking out and heading on a flight from Heathrow all the way to Shannon on the east side of Ireland. And here is where I would recommend you rent a car if you are wanting to do that. The places you're wanting to visit, again, are very spread out, and a car rental would give you the option of getting there quickly and spending as much time as you'd like. But it's up to you. The rest of the tour I've planned for public transportation. There are pros and cons of each that we can discuss, but I have you just spending one night at the airport hotel primarily for convenience. Again, one night. And what I'm recommending that you do that night is go visit Bunratty Castle and the Folk Park. It's the only castle in all of Ireland that is completely furnished, and there are grounds, the groundskeeper grounds, the gardens, the church. It's just a whole village that's been preserved, and it's a really wonderful place to spend some time. And if you're so inclined, you could also stay for the medieval banquet in the evening, 8:30 at night. But it's meant to give you a taste, literally, of what dining was like in the medieval area in a castle. I have you checking out the next day to go see the Cliffs of Moher. And here again, you're either going to need a car or maybe an airport taxi, which you could book the night before to get you there. There are buses, but they're going to take so much longer. And I want you to maximize your time. You do have to designate a time period when you're going to go see the Cliffs of Moher. I recommend the early morning, 8 to 11. Once you're there, you can stay as long as you like, but it begins to fill pretty quickly with tour buses. So you're going to want to get there as soon as possible and to be able to spend as much time as possible. And then I recommend you take the taxi back to Limerick, about an hour away. You can have lunch there and then catch the train from Limerick to Killarney. Again, estimated prices here. And your hotel in Killarney is just a 7-minute walk from the train station and situated not too far from Killarney National Park, where I thought you might like to rent bikes for the day and go explore the park, the gardens, the waterfalls. If that's not your vibe, then I also provided a tour for a horse-drawn carriage ride. They take you to the same places, and you can just sit and enjoy all of that. Sorry for my cat whining in the background here. One thing that was not on your list, but that I do recommend if you're going to Killarney, most people either do the Dingle Peninsula or the Kerry tour, Ring of Kerry tour. And so I did price what the Ring of Kerry would be like if you wanted to do that through a tour. Again, if you have your own car, you can take your time and spend as much time as you want, but it's a full day to do either of those. And then checking out from Killarney, taking the train all the way back to Dublin. If you've got a car, you're going to need to return it to Shannon. But I have you taking the train to Dublin and spending 2 nights in Dublin. The hotel you're going to be at is within walking distance of the Guinness Storehouse. So I have you doing that the first night in Dublin. And again, because it's just a second 2 days there, I thought it might be fun to do the hop on, hop off bus tour in Dublin as well. Concluding that night with, it's a little bit of a touristy thing, but I think it's kind of fun, Celtic Nights, where you can sit and dine while you're listening to authentic Celtic music and dancing, and just a nice way to end your time in Dublin. So that's about it. Then the following morning, you're off on flying back to Chicago, and you'll at least have one day to recuperate because September 1st is Labor Day. So you can get your things, all your laundry done, get a little bit of sleep, have a chance to readjust to the time change and before heading back to work. Okay, so take some time to absorb all this. Let me know your thoughts. Flights are a little bit high right now, in my opinion, so we might want to wait a bit to see if they come down. On the other hand, I don't want to lose the hotel rates we've got, as those are only going to go up the longer we wait. So send me any questions. Let me know a time to call or Zoom with you, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.